Hi there Booktube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm doing my what I read this week, what I'm looking at reading next week, and also I've got a unboxing of my monthly book subscription. So firstly, what I read this week. This week I read one book, one graphic novel, and nearly one book, and I think probably by the time you watch this that I would have finished the second book, so it would have been 2 books and a graphic novel, which I'm really pleased with because it's the start of the month and I'm totally addicted to everyone's wrap-ups and March TBRs, so I always have a bit of a slow week the first week of every month. That doesn't mean that it hasn't been a good week. Let's start with the book I first read this week, and that was Fire Sermon by Francesca Haig. I got this as a NetGalley book, so full disclosure, it was a free book given to me by NetGalley to give an honest review about. Fire Sermon is set in what appears to be a medieval world, where an event has occurred which means that people are shunning technology, and in some ways this reminded me a little bit of the premise of Queen of Tearling, but that is totally where that connection stops. This book is about alphas and omegas. So after the event, babies were being born deformed or disabled in some way, and were dying very early in life. And then after a number of years, twins began to be born, and one twin, who was named the Alpha, was a normal, perfectly healthy baby and grew into a perfectly healthy person, and the Omegas were either disabled or had some type of problem, and also 1 in 1,000 was what they call a seer. So it's someone who looks 100% normal but had some sort of either telepathic or prophecy, foreseeing powers. This story follows Zach and Cass, who are twins, and it's about their lives, but mainly Cass. We follow Cass and her fight to change things and change the world that they live in, and to find a place where she feels safe. One really good thing I loved about this was that if one twin dies, so does the other one. So it restores a slight balance, because you can imagine otherwise, the world being so cruel as it is, and particularly in this world, they would just kill the weaker baby and keep the normal child. But if one dies, the other dies. So even if they die of old age, the other one will die at the same time. So it created a really interesting dynamic. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was good. However, I did feel it lost its way a little bit in the middle, and there wasn't quite enough action for me. There was a little bit too much journeying and not enough going on. So I gave this book 3 stars. Next, I went on to a book that quite a few people have mentioned in one of my haul videos, and that was, and I still don't know how to say it, but I think it's Naja. And this is a graphic novel. I'll show you again. So it's got really lovely artwork, and I really enjoyed the artwork of this book. This graphic novel is about a woman, and she kills for someone who she doesn't know. She doesn't have any emotions, and she has no feelings. So if she's cut, she can't feel it. But that also means she can't feel love, she can't feel emotional things either. And she's in a quest. The reason that she allows herself to work for this assassin is because she wants to find something that will finally make her feel something. This story is how she got to where she is and what happens after she gets there, and also it's a journey of discovering a mystery and unravelling what happened in this mystery. So it's a bit of a mystery story, but it's also her life story up to this point. It was a really good graphic novel. The artwork was lovely, the colours were really beautiful, and I really enjoyed that side of it. The story, I think, is very interesting, but I think for me I'd need to read it again, because you don't take in, if the first time around you're trying to work out what the mystery is and you're trying to work out, you know, exactly who people are and what's going on, and I think a reread for me on this would definitely help me to sort of enjoy it more. And I know I say don't reread things, but with graphic novels, because they don't take quite so long, I do tend to reread them occasionally. So I think I'm definitely going to give this one a reread, but I did really enjoy it, and I'm really pleased that I bought it. And I gave this one 3 stars. And then finally this week I read a book on my Kindle. This again was a NetGalley copy, and so full disclosure, it was free from NetGalley, but I will give an honest opinion and honest review as always. And the second book in this series had just come out, or is just about to come out, and NetGalley had both the first and the second on, and so I took both because I really like to read book after book, and I was really excited about this, and I hadn't heard anything about it. It's called Gates of Thread and Stone by Laurie M. Lee. And the second book in the series is called The Infinite, but I've only just, or will have just about finished the first one by the time you watch this, but I haven't finished it just yet. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, and I am going to do a full review of the two books once I've read them. But in short, it's a fantasy type book. It's set in a city where only one man is meant to possess magic, and we follow 17-year-old Kai, and it's her journey in finding out who she is, because she doesn't really know. There's a mystery surrounding where she's come from, and her brother one day goes missing, and it's about her finding what's happened to him and unravelling the mysteries of their world and their life. It's really, really good. I mean, really good. I'm really enjoying it. This is well on the way to being a 4 or 5 star book for me. So I'll let you know in my review how I get on with the rest of this. Hopefully the ending is just as good as the rest of it is. So now on briefly to what I'm thinking of reading next week. I'm definitely going to be picking up Inda by Sherwood Smith later this week or at the weekend, because I know Jenny King, who I'm buddy reading with, has already started, so I'm behind and I need to catch up. And then I'm also going to be picking up Red Rising, because I'm reading this with Lauren on Goodreads. And then I will definitely, I think, be picking up the second one in this series, The Infinite by Laurie M. Lee, because I'm loving it so far. So those will probably be the 3 books that I'm looking at reading next week. I'm not going to give myself any more than those 3 at the moment, because Inda's quite a big book and I want to enjoy the buddy reads that I'm doing. So now on for my unboxing. I'll cover up my address, but as you all know, my husband bought me a Willoughby Book Club subscription. This is the 2nd year and I love it, and they send me a book every month. I fill out a questionnaire at the beginning and they send me a book every month that they think I'm going to enjoy. Now, a few people asked me last time in my unboxing because I read so much, how I managed not to get one that I haven't read, and what I asked them to do is at the beginning of the month before, so at the beginning of last month, they sent me an email saying, we're thinking of sending you this book, or by this author, have you read anything by this author? And if I have, I say yes and I tell them what I've read, and if I haven't, I say no, and they send me a book. And although it's a bit of a spoiler, so it ruins the surprise slightly, I have no idea, I can't remember at all what they said. I may remember when I get it, but I never remember because it's about 4 or 5 weeks away and I always read loads of books. I'm looking at books all the time, so yeah, it doesn't really spoil it for me. I just forget and carry on, and I make a point of sort of thinking to myself, yeah, don't remember that, just, you know, carry on, and I delete the emails or whatever. So anyway, let's get on with the unboxing. Here it is. Oh, it's orange this time. It always comes beautifully wrapped in tissue paper, as you can see here, with the lovely Willoughby Book Club on it. Oh, I love their wrapping. It's really great, and it's always different coloured things. Right, here we go. Ooh. Among Thieves, A Tale of the Kin by Douglas Hulick. Well, I've not heard much about this. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like. There is no honour among thieves. Ildreka is a dangerous city if you don't know what you're doing. It takes a canny hand and a wary eye to run these streets and survive. Fortunately, Droth has both. He's been a member of the kin for years, rubbing elbows with thieves and murderers from the dirtiest of alleys to the finest of neighbourhoods, working for a crime lord he finds and takes cares of trouble inside his boss's organisation while smuggling relics on the side. But when his boss orders Droth to track down whoever is leaning on his organisation's people, he stumbles upon a much bigger mystery. There's a book, a relic, any number of deadly people seem to be looking for, a book that just might bring down emperors and shatter the criminal underworld. A book now inconveniently in Droth's hands. Ooh, this sounds really good. I'm really excited about this. and I've not heard about it before, so I'm really excited, and I completely forgot what so I didn't remember this. So let me know if you've read this. I haven't heard it on Booktube, I don't think. So let me know if you've read this and if it's any good. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. So that's what I read this week and what I'm planning on reading next week, and my unboxing of a really exciting book. I'm excited about that. So let me know what you're reading, what you're up to. Let's chat as normal, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, Booktube.